city for a long time and suddenly realized that I needed a slower pace of life. I needed to get back to basics, needed to find myself again. And I thought the best way to do that would be to go from the city hustle and the grind culture to some country tranquility. And now I live in beautiful rural southern Colorado in the midst of the majestic Rocky Mountains, surrounded by pine forests and flowing rivers and the chirping of birds and clean air and dark skies. And it's amazing. I went from that city hustle to this country tranquility to reconnect with my body again, to honor what my body was telling me and where my body is in this moment dealing with chronic illness and chronic pain and multiple diagnoses. What moving to the country has taught me is that it's okay to take care of myself, that it's okay to be slow. It's okay to not constantly be on the go, 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 go. um, I've been an executive director. I've had an amazing career. I've traveled all over the country. I've lived all over the country. And my body, once I became ill, just wasn't on that same pace of life anymore. And so this is where I find myself now. So if you find yourself, whether you're already in a rural setting or you live in the middle of the hustle and bustle of the city, I hope that you can find something to connect with in this video. Nowadays, I do a lot of grounding, so I'll take off my socks and shoes and just step in the grass or put my feet in the river or, soak my feet in a nearby pond or reservoir. And it's amazing. It is a wonder how we don't connect with nature enough. And just that simple act of allowing my body to touch and feel and connect and ground with nature has brought so much healing energy into my life. And I'm enjoying it so much. I highly recommend it. One of the other things that living in the country has brought into my life is being able to go on nature walks again, even though that is not something I get to do as often as I would like. When my body does allow me to do that, I use a cane or I use a walking stick and am able to enjoy nature, especially with my family members, because I moved to a part of Colorado where my family already lives. It was one of the reasons I chose to move back here. And just being able to, move my body when my body allows it. I'll see if I could put in some B-roll here so you can see what some of the nature trails look like. And hopefully in the future, I can take you all along with me. We can go on a walk together. Another thing that I have been able to do is start some new hobbies, do some new crafts. And so picking pine cones, gathering up dried leaves that have fallen off of the trees in the fall when they're beautiful colors, oranges, reds, deep, deep yellows. And so being able to go out into nature and collect those things, especially with my grandchildren, so that we can, do crafts, or occasionally I will utilize those things in my paintings when I am doing a multimedia type of um, artwork. I really like incorporating those different elements. And speaking of that, um, having more time and flexibility and space to do artwork and create artwork in nature is amazing. I absolutely love it. I'll go and paint by the river one day, or I will take a walk and find a beautiful spot in the middle of the forest, and then I'll paint there another day, or I'll find a lake and just sit next to the lake and paint the beautiful scenery. I'll go to the base of the mountain and paint the mountain, um, or do a sketch. Um, and there's so much inspiration. I guess you could say that my chronic illness has been both a burden and my muse at the same time, because I find that when I am creating artwork or when I'm writing, whether it's writing a chapter of my book or writing another poem, that I am inspired by nature, but also inspired by the chronic illnesses that I have to deal with on a daily basis. And so a lot of my paintings and artwork that y'all will see in the future is really an expression of all those deep emotions, confusing feelings, and the thoughts that just tend to build up that you just can't keep inside anymore. And so all that passion, good and bad, pours out into my artwork and my writing. Chronic illness is like that long time friend that never really goes away. And sometimes it can leave me alone and be slightly quiet or in the background, letting me go about my daily tasks. And sometimes it is like that annoying person who just wants all your attention, and you have no choice but to give it the attention that it is crying for, screaming for. Some days I'm quiet, some days I roar, but every day I fight. And we do that out of necessity because that's just what we have to do. And for those days when it's difficult to even get out of bed, or some days when I can't get out of bed, I find that I can still create. Um, so on a day like today, when I'm able to get out of bed, I can make videos for you guys, or I can work on a piece of artwork, or I can write a poem, or I can, play games on my phone or doom scroll on TikTok or on YouTube. Um, but most days now, I try to make time every day if possible to step outside in nature. So I just want to encourage all of you who maybe are starting on your chronic illness journey. It's not easy. It's not something we chose for ourselves. It's not something that we would want or expect to be dealing with. I got diagnosed very young and have been dealing with this for years now. And there is a loss, there is a grieving period that we go through. And so, if you are in that period of your life, first of all, I'm sorry that you have to go through this and that you're dealing with this. Secondly, I feel you. I'm here for you. And I just want to encourage you that things will get better as you learn to adjust to this new body that you have, to these new requirements, perhaps new limitations, um, perhaps new medications, and the roller coaster of medications is definitely no fun. I think it's something that every spoonie, every chronic illness and disabled person probably has to deal with at some point, and in my case, multiple times, because sometimes the medication will stop working and then we find ourselves back on that roller coaster of experimentation and trying this one. Yes, it works. That one, no, it doesn't work. That one, oh, we got to try another one with it. Um, that's another video in and of itself. because we could probably talk about medications and that roller coaster for quite a while. In the meantime, be encouraged. We'll get through this together. Check back in the future for more videos on some resources that I'd like to share with you all. You don't have to do chronic illness alone. We're in this together.